Hey guys, welcome to the Crypto Rocker channel. I wanted to get on real quick and make a morning video because these markets are really getting exciting. And I wanted to take a quick look at this chart right here. It's kind of like the one I showed the other day where it kind of goes back and shows what happened in the past. Um, I had kind of a thought the other day on how at certain times throughout history, if you go back, um, there have been certain opportunities throughout time. And if you were the kind of person that was sort of paying attention, then basically, for lack of any other words, you could profit greatly from basically industries that started to pop up in our world. That if you saw what was getting ready to happen and you were in a position to invest in something and get on the front end of something that you saw that was getting ready to happen in the world, you could make a lot of money. And some examples of that would be like if you go back to the very beginnings of the auto industry and you were in a position to invest in some of the early car companies or even some of the companies that maybe produced auto parts and things like that, then you would have seen that there was a industry that was getting ready to explode upon to the scene that was basically, if you invested in that, you were going to make a good deal of money. The same thing would have happened back in the 90s with the very beginnings of the internet. If you were looking and paying attention, which I wasn't at the time, a lot of people weren't, and it was so obvious. It's like the writing is on the wall. It's like right in front of you. It's like, wow, yeah, this industry is going to grow. It's not going away. It's just that most people don't really pay attention to these kinds of changing trends, and when these kinds of opportunities present themselves, most people don't see it. Well, basically, we're coming through another exact time like that with the cryptocurrency industry. It is an industry that is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's one of those things that we're going through a stage, and I think this won't last forever. I do think that this may be the last big cycle that's coming for crypto. It may continue for another cycle or two. There's no real way to predict that and tell what's going to happen. But I do think there's coming a time after maybe the first 20 years of crypto, and we've already come through 12 years of crypto. There may come a time in the future where the crypto industry, like the gold industry, finds its value and then stabilizes, and there's really no more opportunities like this. Because I want to go back here to the very beginning of Bitcoin, way, way back here. And each one of these green lines that I'm looking at here represents a Bitcoin halving. Okay. Now, this first one happened back here. I think it was in 2012 or something like that, 2013. This was a long time ago. It was over 10 years ago. The first halving took place back then. And then, as you can see, there is a parabolic move and it reaches all time highs afterwards. Okay. Then, very simply, you enter into a bear market that lasts years. Now, remember, these are every 4 years. So, all of this you see in between these green lines, that represents 4 years of time. So, this here, this big downtrend, that's 2.5 years of a bear market. Okay. Then the market coming back up into a pre halving rally again here, anticipating that another halving is coming. Sure enough, the halving occurs right here, and this would be in, I think, 2016. The 2016 halving takes place, and then you get this parabolic run up again, which takes Bitcoin all the way up to $19,000. By the way, the first all-time high was around $1,008, I think. And this happened in 2017, and a lot of people may remember. I remember in 2017, it was the first time that Bitcoin really popped up on my radar because I heard about it in the news. People were talking about all of a sudden this stuff called Bitcoin that all of a sudden just rocketed up to these all-time high levels of $19,000. And that was like around the time of Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2017, and a lot of people were very excited about that. It was a great Christmas gift for a lot of people who were in at the time. I wasn't way back then. Then you've got another bear market ensuing. Then you come into the halving in the year 2020. This here's the COVID crash. Then after the 2020 halving, you get this parabolic run up, but this one is kind of a retarded run up. It's kind of tamped down because everything in the world was tamped down at that time. There was COVID, there was the lockdowns, all of the markets were sort of suffering at that time. There was a lot of stuff going on that made markets not run the way they did. So if you look carefully, this is sort of a rounded top up here, and then it comes back down, and then it comes back up for a second wave, and it's another sort of rounded top before the bear market begins. You didn't get this kind of a real blow off top at that time like you did back here. um, so things were a little different because we were living in a COVID world back then. Okay, so bear market ensues, and then it brings us all the way up to where we are right now. Here's where we are right now today. It is about 2 months before the next halving that's coming. And then the big question is the same thing going to happen after the halving? Are you going to get this kind of parabolic price increase after the halving? I predict that we are going to see this. As a matter of fact, it has to happen. It's programmed into Bitcoin. When Satoshi created Bitcoin, he intended for Bitcoin to be mined for the next 150 years. That's right. Till the year 21 something, Bitcoin is going to be mined, and there's going to be a halving every single 4 years. Okay. And if the price of Bitcoin doesn't go up, if it stays the same or goes down, then the mining can't continue. The miners will have to go out of business, and then that'll be it. That'll sort of put the kibosh on mining until it becomes profitable again to mine it, because mining is kind of expensive. It costs money and energy. You have to spend money to make money. You have to buy the equipment. The miners have spent a lot of money buying all the GPUs and the cooling units to keep their computers cool as they run, as they mine the Bitcoin. Okay. And it takes a lot of electricity. So, in order for them to stay in business, the price of Bitcoin has to pretty much double and go beyond that. But I think we're coming into a time now where not only is it going to increase because of what's happening with the miners and because the hash rate is being cut in half, but it's going to increase because more and more people are seeing what a perfect asset it is. It's better than gold, it's digital gold, and it can be moved on the blockchain, it can be moved on the Lightning Network, on the internet, very fast. You can't do that with gold. And so this is going to be the asset of value that basically stores value for the future in our world. More and more people are waking up to that. Just how perfect this asset it is. So perfect. It is the most perfect, pristine, unimpingible, unmanipulatable, uninflatable asset on the planet. There's nothing like Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin is incredible. It's amazing. It really is. And so, because of that, too, the price of Bitcoin is rising and is going to be rising in the future. Um, Now, what's happening affects the entire crypto market. So basically, all I'm saying is that you can look at this and draw your own conclusions. To me, the writing is on the wall. We're living in a time when you have an industry that is coming upon the world where we can look at it, look at all the fundamentals, and then we can predict what's about to happen. I think most people would agree that people have a tendency to take things for granted. Whatever it is, if you're living in the best situation in the world, you take it for granted, and then later on, if you lose it, well, then you look back and you're like, wow, I had it really great back then, but I didn't even realize it at the time. A real trick in life is to realize where you are and how good you have it at the time, and be like super thankful and be like, wow, man, my life is just really, really good. And I try to remind myself of that every day. And I think the same thing is true of these kinds of market cycles. When you're living through it and you see it and it's right in front of you, people have a tendency to not notice what's right in front of them. They don't see the opportunity that's right there in front of them until it's gone. And then they realize, wow, I really had an opportunity there, but I didn't get in it. Well, This is like front running the auto industry. This is like front running the internet industry. That, you know, if you're looking and you're paying attention and you're cognizant of what's about to happen, we're living in a time when you have an industry that's growing, that you can look at everything and predict what is about to happen. Okay. So I think what's about to happen is the same thing that happened back here, the same thing that happened here after this halving, the same thing that happened here after this halving. We're 2 months from the next halving, and then it's going to be boom, parabolic price action, really great bull market. Um, so real quick at the end, I want to give everybody a couple of altcoins that are my absolute favorites. Cardano is one of them. One called Internet Computer Protocol. There's a new one called Arrow, which is very cheap. It's not very expensive. Even the meme coins are good, like Dogecoin. I would recommend things like Render Protocol. Oh, and there's one called Jasmy. Jasmy is a coin that was created years ago. A couple of these Sony executives saw the writing on the wall, saw what was coming with cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, and so they stepped away from Sony and they created something called the Jasmy coin. Jasmy coin has pretty much perfect fundamentals. It's a technology coin. Okay, it has great utility and use case. It is not a meme coin. It is not anything like one of these little doggy coins, which actually you can make money on those too. So I'm not trying to say anything bad about Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. I'm just saying that those are meme coins, kind of. But this is a real deal. Jasmy coin is something that's awesome. I got into this project a long time ago when it was half a penny. Well, it's come up quite a bit since then. It's at like 2 cents now, and it's most likely going to have a really, really big run. And the reason I mentioned this one is because it's super cheap right now, and you can get a lot of coins for not much money and be ready for what's about to happen in this bull run. So, this is not financial advice, but I'm just trying to, like, I don't know, do my part to get the word out to people so that we can all make some profits from what's about to happen in this industry. All right, we'll see y'all next time on the Crypto Rocker channel. See ya.